All right, for this video here, let's take a look at adding fractions. And first what we're going to take a look at is this pizza over here. And this pizza here, it looks like the only pizza I have left is I have 3 pieces out of a possible 8. So I have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So I have 3 pieces out of a possible 8. And this person over here, they didn't cut their pizza into as many pieces. They only have 4, but the 4 pieces, but the pieces are quite a bit larger. They're twice as big. And in this pizza, 1 out of the 4 pieces have been cut. Now when we add these together, let's say that we want to actually take this amount of pizza and put it over here, or I want to take this amount of pizza and put it over here. When we add these together, it's important when you add or subtract, you must have common denominators. So these denominators must be the same. All right. So this pizza has 8 pieces. This one here only has 4. We need it to have the same amount as this guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my pizza into 8 pieces. Now that wasn't a very good cut, was it? So let me just, basically I'm cutting all my pieces in half. That's terrible. Let me try that one more time. There we go, like that. Okay, so basically we're cutting this pizza in half. So now instead of having 4 pieces, we have a total of 8 pieces. Now when I cut it in half, look what happens down here. Instead of 1 piece, I now have 2 pieces. So I can rewrite this as 3 over 8 plus 1 over 4. I'm multiplying the top and the bottom by 2 because I'm doubling it. So I have 3 over 8 plus 2 over 8. Now that my denominators are the same, I'm able to add my 2 fractions together. 3 over 8 plus 2 over 8. What you do is you add the top numbers, okay, and that gives me 5, and the bottom I still have 8. So it's like taking these 2 pieces right here and putting them on the other pizza. So I'm going to take these 2 here. I'm going to add them. Let me just change the color. I'm going to add them over here. Here's 1 and here's 2. All right. So in total, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. And that's where we get this 5/8. Okay, so let's try this example here. One trick that you can do to find common denominators, especially if your bottom numbers are prime or have nothing in common, no common factors at all, what you can do is you can play the I want what he has game. Now, the denominators on the bottom have to be the same. So the 3 looks at the 5 and says, hey, it's not fair. You have a 5 and I don't have a 5. I need a 5, top and bottom. Okay, so the 3 looks at the 5 and grabs a 5. Okay, and we're going to multiply that 5 to the top and the bottom. Now the 5 looks over here and he says, well, you've got a 5. I already have that, but I don't have a 3. I want that. So he's going to grab that 3 and we're going to multiply it top and bottom. So now what you have is you have fractions that are going to have the same bottom. Okay, so notice that 3 times 5 down here is 15 and over here is 5 times 3 and that's 15. So I have forced these fractions to be the same by multiplying the top and the bottoms by a given number. Okay, now that I have common denominators of 15, we keep the 15 as the common denominator. We're going to add the top, 5 plus 3, and I get 8. Once I'm done with this, I ask myself, can I simplify? Well, 8 has 2's and it has 4's, it has 8 in it. 15 has 3's and 5's in it. None of these are in common, so there's going to be no simplifying going on, and we are left with just 8 over 15. So here's a problem where you are subtracting, and when we add and subtract, the bottoms need to be the same. We need these common denominators. And so what we can do, we can multiply the top and the bottom by, like this 12 could look at the 8, and we could multiply by the 8 top and bottom. Or the 8 could look at the 12 and we could multiply the 12 top and bottom. So this is an option to do. I want to show you another way that you can do this because the bottom numbers are 12 and 8. Okay, so the 12 and 8, we want to find the lowest common denominator, which is also the lowest common multiple. So I'm going to write the multiples of 12, 12, 24, 36, 48. Then I'm going to write the multiples of 8, 8, 16, 24, 36. And as I go through my list, I notice that I hit these two numbers that are common to both 12 and 8. 24 is both common to 12 and 8. So what we want to do is we want to make the number 24. So I have a 12. To make the number 24, let me put my 5/12ths, okay. To make the number 24, I need to multiply by 2, top and bottom. Okay. Over here, I have the number 1 and 8. To make the number 24, I need to multiply this one by 3, top and bottom. Okay. So now my denominators are both 24. That's good news. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, 10 minus 3, I get 7. My denominator does not change. And I'll look here at 7 and 24. 24 has 2s, 3s, 4s, 6, 8s, 12s in it. 7 just has 7 and 1. None of these, 7 can't cancel with 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, or 12. So this is in its lowest terms right here. Okay, so now what happens if we have 3 fractions? I have 1/3 plus 4/5 minus 1/4. We can write out all the multiples of 3, all the multiples of 5, all the multiples of 4. We can do that. But for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the I want what they have game. Okay, so I'm going to look, the 3 is going to look at the 5, and the 3 is going to say, hey, I don't have a 5. I need a 5, top and bottom. And then the 3 is going to look at the 4 and say, well, I only have a 3. I don't have a 4. So essentially, I'm going to be multiplying this 1 by a 20. Okay, the 5 will look at this 3 and say, okay, I see you've got a 5 there, but I don't have a 3. Okay, I've already got a 5. And well, I see that there's a 4 here. You guys have a 4, but I don't have a 4, and I want a 4. So this middle term is going to be multiplied by a 3 times 4, which is a 12. The 4 looks at the 5 and the 3 and the 4. It says, I've got a 4 already, but I don't have a 3. So I'm going to take a 3. And I don't have a 5. So I'm going to take a 5. And once I've done that, I've created these common denominators. Okay, so my common denominator is 3 times 5 times 4. Okay, and so what we have here is we have a common denominator of 60. Okay, and then we have 5 times 3 times 4, which is 60, and then we have 4 times 3 times 5, which is 60. So this was a 1, so it's going to be 1 times 5 times 4, which is 20. Then I have 4 times 3 times 4, so that's 12 times 4, which is 48. And then I have 3 times 5, and that gives me a 15. So the good news is the hard part is done. I've multiplied all of my denominators, I've multiplied all of my numerators, And so all I have to do now is combine my tops. My denominator, he is not going to change. So I have 20 plus 48. Okay, that gives me 68. All right, so I get 68 here. 68 take away 15, and that leaves me with 53. Okay, then I take a look and I say, okay, can I simplify these two? This one has 53 and this one has 60. 60 has 6's and 2's and 3's and 10's and 5's, and 53 does not have any of those. So we would say this is in its lowest, it's a fraction in its lowest form.